Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you step by step how to start a poetry blog and actually make some money from it. So what we're going to cover is I'm actually going to explain what a poetry blog is. I'm going to provide some examples, and then we're going to talk about why you need to pick a niche and even niche down. The next step will actually get web hosting. I'll explain why you need web hosting for your website to be seen on the internet and how to get a domain name for free. After that, we are going to install WordPress. We are going to install a free and premium WordPress theme and important changes that you absolutely have to make to your website so that people can actually see it. I'm going to help you start writing and tell you exactly how long each blog post should be. After that, we're going to talk about some ways to make money, why you need to share your content on social media in the very beginning, and about how many blog posts you need to write before you decide if your website's a success or failure. Now, I will be talking about the first 3 links in the description, so definitely check those out. First things first, what is a poetry blog? And this is going to be something that you need to ask yourself and figure out in the very beginning. Are you going to write content? Are you going to create content to help people learn how to become better poets? Or are you going to share your poetry? That's going to be the first thing that you need to decide so that you can start building a following and gaining traction. If you're looking to bring a large audience, the best way to go is to teach people how to become better poets. And I just want to show you an example of a blog that I found here. Let's go back over here to the poetryfoundation.org. This is an example of a poetry blog where they're helping people become better poets. They're helping people become better writers, and they're also providing a few poetry samples as well. So they're doing a good mix of both. In the very beginning, if you're looking to build a following, I think you should start off by helping people by solving problems. People are going to be asking questions, and you need to create your blog so that you are solving problems. And to do that, you're going to want to do some keyword research to figure out exactly what people are going to want to do. And what I recommend, if we jump back over to our slide deck, when you pick a niche, as I mentioned, you kind of have to choose which direction in that fork of the road. You want to niche down. And by niching down, I mean you want to pick a subtopic within the poetry niche. And for example, if I go over to Ahrefs, it's a keyword tool that I use to help me find keywords fast. You don't have to use this, but I'm just going to show you, for example, why you need to pick a niche and niche down. If we just type in poetry, this is a keyword here, you can see on a scale of 0 to 100, the word poetry is 93, which is going to be super hard to rank for as a new website. If we look at the matching terms here, you are going to see that there are a lot of red, orange, and yellow. Basically, if the keyword difficulty is going to be difficult for a new website, it's going to be kind of hard to rank. But what we could do is we could actually niche down using one of these terms, or we can niche down with a glossary word. For example, let's go to, let's find a word here that we could use that could be related to poetry here. Maybe we could do lyric, or we could actually grab lyric poetry from here. Why don't we copy this? Now you're going to see that the keyword difficulty is 31, which means it's going to be much easier for a brand new website. But what we're looking at instead is we want to look at the total search volume, and we want to look at the keywords. Look at this. There's 12,000 keywords where people are asking questions about lyric poetry, and you could potentially rank for these keywords. What is lyric poetry? People are asking this very basic question, and you can answer that question and provide examples. As I mentioned, there are almost 2,000 keywords for you to create content on. So this is what I mean by picking a niche and niching down. Just talking about poetry, I don't believe is going to be enough. You want to pick a subtopic. You want to find maybe a glossary of terms that people are talking about. Maybe romantic or romance poetry could be a good opportunity. But now that we have picked a niche and niche down, the next step is to get web hosting. Now, in order for your website to be seen on the internet, it needs to be hosted somewhere. Your website is going to be hosted on a server, and you're going to use the first link in the description to get that web hosting taken care of. The web hosting company is called Bluehost. You are going to rent hard drive or server space for them so that your website can be seen by the masses anywhere and everywhere around the world. When you click that first link in the description, you will get a free domain name for the first year. Now, a domain name is simply a name that your customers, your audience is going to refer to you by. Every website needs to have a domain name. This website, for example, is called poetryfoundation.org. That's their domain name. And when you click that first link, you'll get one for free for the first year. In fact, what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to walk you through the process of getting web hosting and a domain name step by step. And we're going to actually do that right now. When you click that link, you'll be taken to this website where you'll go ahead and click Get Started. What I recommend is to click the first one on the far left, the basic plan, if you're just getting started with a website. As you can see, there are a number of options, but click that, click Select, and then move on. Here you're going to create a domain name. If you have one in mind, you can type it in here like you see that I do. What I recommend is try and find a domain name that's going to be related to your niche. Now, what I do is I type in a domain name that I know is already taken. When it's taken, you're going to get this error. What you can then do is go back and try different domains. Now, make sure, again, you want to pick one that's related to your niche. Click Next, and then you're going to see a green box that says that it's approved. The next step is simply to go through and enter in your contact information. Make sure that when you scroll down here, make sure that you leave all of the settings on. But again, enter in your contact information. The settings right here where it says domain privacy, leave all of this checked. If you don't leave it checked, you're going to get people reaching out to you, spamming you, emailing you, trying to get you to sign up for web hosting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sign up and then jump back to you once I sign on and move to the next step. All right, so I've signed up and I'm going to go ahead and set up my website initially. Just create a simple username and password, make sure it meets the requirements there, and then move on. Make sure that you write it down too. Write it down in a safe spot so that you have it and you remember it, because it can be a pain to go ahead and get everything back. You're gonna have to enter in like some vital information, but just make sure that you write it down. It's really easy and really simple. Now, one thing that I do want to note is that this part is not sped up at all. This is actual real time, and you can see that you'll go from absolutely nothing to a complete website in less than probably 10 minutes. And once you click submit, you're going to move on to the next step where you get to log in. Here is where you're actually going to start creating your WordPress website. Now, the great thing is Bluehost really does everything for you, and it's really simple. So again, I'm not speeding this up at all, and I want you to see what it really takes to create a website. Bluehost is going to do a little bit of work in the background for you, and we're just going to actually click on skip this step. This first one I clicked on start a blog, but for the next step, just click skip, because we know what we're doing, and I'm actually going to tell you what to do so that we can get up and running. Click get started right here on the left hand side, and then move on. Just click skip here and click skip here, and then just pick the first one on the far left. Make sure that you're picking a free theme, because they'll charge you. They have both free and premium themes, which I'll talk about in just a moment. So right now it's actually creating your WordPress website. In just a few moments, you're going to click on log in to WordPress on the right hand side there. You'll see it in just a second. And then we can actually start looking at some basic configurations. All right, so we click log in, and now we actually have a WordPress website. What may need to happen is you may need to click refresh a few times to get it to work, but now we have our website, as you can see. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to log in and delete a few plugins, because right now it has the coming soon. And so if someone tried to get to your website at this moment, it's going to say coming soon to them, even though we can see it. This is what your WordPress website looks like, but for everyone else outside of your network, it's going to say coming soon. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to plugins eventually, and we're going to delete some of the plugins that we don't need. Now, I talk a little bit about plugins later on, but plugins add additional features and functionality. We are going to deactivate the Bluehost as well as the other plugins that are already activated, and then we can go through and make the necessary changes, which I'll cover in just a moment. So we're going to deactivate them and then delete them. Now you want to make sure that you only have the plugins that you're using on your website. The more plugins you have, the slower your website's going to respond and function, and you're going to lose out on ranking. So make sure you have a lean setup, very few plugins, and then move on. As you can see right now, I'm just simply deleting some stuff that you don't need. If you want to, you could keep them, but obviously if you're just getting started, you don't need this other stuff. What's more important is the themes that we're going to talk about in just a moment, as well as getting writing. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete those, deactivate them, and then we're actually going to start moving on to settings, which you see right here. All right, so let's go ahead and make some changes that we absolutely have to make so that you can start getting traffic. The first thing that you want to do is you want to change your site title. Your site title is going to be the title of your website. You can make this basically your domain name. For example, my domain name is Web Hosting Rewind, and you can see that's my site title. And then the tagline is basically what your website's all about in a very succinct manner. As you can see here, mine says, get the latest news and info on all things web hosting. What you want to do is make sure that yours is relevant to your niche. For example, if you are creating content about makeup, you can say, come here for the latest tips and tricks for all things makeup. Next, you want to make sure that your WordPress address is HTTPS and not HTTP. Make sure your site address is HTTPS as well. And then the administration email should automatically be set. Uncheck the membership so that anyone can register. Make sure that this is unchecked. If we scroll down here, you want to change your time zone to your time zone. There are all sorts of them here. Next, you want to make sure that you have your date format set to the way you want, and then go ahead and click save. If we go down to writing, there isn't anything in writing that we need to change. After that, we're going to go to reading. In reading, very important, you want to make sure that your homepage displays to your latest post. That's the first thing. And the second one is you want to make sure that your search engine visibility is unchecked. Do not check this. Discourage search engines from indexing this site. You do not want this, because if this is checked, people aren't going to be able to find your website, and everything that we do after this is going to be a waste. So go ahead and click save. This should be unchecked. Next, if we go down to discussion, there really isn't anything that we need to change here. Media, we can leave this as is, and then permalinks is going to be really important. Right now, your permalinks are set to plain. You want to change it to post name. This is done for search engine optimization. What's going to happen is when we create a new blog post, we are going to make it so that it's search engine optimized. We're going to use the keyword in our title, and that keyword is going to show up right here as well. And this is called search engine optimization. Make sure that it's set to post name, and then go ahead and click save. And really, that's everything that you need to do to make sure that you start getting traffic. All right, so now that we have installed WordPress, we've got our WordPress theme. We've got a free theme, and I'm actually going to show you how to get a premium one. We've made some very important changes to your website. If you don't make those changes, no one's going to see your website. So right now we have a basic WordPress theme. That theme doesn't have any features. It doesn't really have any functionality. It's very basic. You can start off with that basic WordPress theme, but I recommend that you go out and get a premium one. If you click the second link in the description, you'll actually get access to a place where you can buy premium WordPress themes. And the cool thing with premium themes is they come with additional features and functionality. For example, if we just type in poetry, you're going to see there are a bunch of WordPress themes. In fact, if we go back over to our sample, this is a WordPress theme. It has additional features and functionalities. It looks more inviting. It gets people to take an action. So if we go back over here, you can see there are a bunch of different WordPress themes based around poetry. Now, you don't have to use poetry. You can use writing. You could do book review, anything really, as long as it is relevant to your niche and it's something that you don't mind looking at over and over again. So what you're going to do is once you find a theme, you are going to click on this card here to add it to your cart. When you add it to your cart, you are going to go and check out and purchase the theme. What's going to happen is you're going to download a zip file to your computer. You are going to unpack that zip file, and then there's going to be a second zip file. We're going to take that zip file, that second one, and we are going to install it into our WordPress website. And to do that, we're going to go to Appearance. We're going to click on Themes. When we click on Themes, we're going to click on Add New, and then we are going to click on Upload Theme. You can drag and drop that second zip file right here to where it says Choose File, or you can manually click on it and navigate and find it in your Downloads folder. Regardless of the decision you choose, click on Install Now and then Activate, and you're going to have a brand new theme. Then the next step, if we go back over to our slide deck here, we need to figure out how to start writing. Now, as a writer, this part should come easy to you, but just in case it doesn't, let's go ahead and take care of that. To start writing, we are going to go over to Post. We're going to click on Add New. And what we're going to do is we are going to use the keywords that we found in this previous step as the beginning of our title. So, for example, what is lyric poetry? I found it. What is lyric poetry? So we're going to copy this. This is our keyword, for example, and we're just going to paste this in right here as our title. Now, this is also called an H1. The reason why we're doing it this way is to optimize our blog posts for search. This is called search engine optimization. So what I like to do, and I get two questions all the time. How long should my blog post be, and how do I start writing? Well, your blog post should only be as long as it needs to be to answer your customer's question. As I mentioned, the whole purpose of your blog or website is to solve problems. And so one way to figure out how long your blog post should be is to check out and see what your competition is doing. So I just searched what is lyric poetry. When I click on this, you are going to see, if I take a guess, it's probably about 1,200 words. And they're basically just answering the question about lyric poetry. And what I recommend that you do, as you can see, it's only 622 words. What I recommend that you do is write about, for this example, I'd probably write about 1,200 words just to make sure that I thoroughly answer the question. Now, one thing that you can do is you can skim through these blog posts and see what's missing and add that information to your blog. Now, obviously, you don't want to copy or steal other people's work, but it's a good idea to get a feel of what they're talking about and then improve upon it. And that leads me to the other point. How do I start writing? When I write my blogs, I start with who, what, when, where, why, and how. Now, this is a little brainstorming exercise that we learned in elementary school, but this is also going to help you write faster and write longer. Now, obviously, we know our keyword or keyword phrase is what is lyric poetry. But what we can do is we can use these 6 questions and brainstorm other ideas in relation to our keyword or keyword title. So we might be saying who is interested in lyric poetry. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to take about 10 minutes and write down a bunch of questions regarding our keyword or a keyword phrase. Maybe, how do I get started with lyric poetry? And as you know, when you're writing, it's important that you just get the thoughts onto paper or computer in this instance and not worry about spelling. You can always come back and clean that up later. Where to find lyric poets, maybe. And as you can see, this is going to come together very nicely as long as we are focused on answering the question. Now, after about 10 or 15 minutes, what you're going to do is you're going to keep the good questions that you've asked and delete the rest. The ones that you keep, you're going to turn those into H2s. These are called subheadings. This is an H1 up here. This is an H2 down here. And you're simply going to just answer the question. You can find lyric poets at the local coffee shop. If that's the right answer. Now, so what you're going to do is you're just going to go through and write and make sure that your blog post is around the same length as the other ones that are ranking in the top 10 results. Now, you want to make it a little bit longer. Again, you want to make sure that you are looking at what they have answered and trying to improve upon it. Make it better so that gives you the best opportunity to rank. Once you're done with that, you are simply going to click on publish, and then your blog post is alive for the world to see and react to. Now let's jump back over to our slide deck. We've started writing. The next step is to figure out ways to make money. Now, believe it or not, there are a bunch of ways to make money from your website. And if we take a look at this website, poets.org, one way that they're making money is simply collecting email addresses. Now, this can help you make money in a number of ways. 1, you can redirect people back to your blog or your website. 2, you can sell them items directly. 3, you can have them really go wherever you want them to go. And it's a good way to make money over a long period of time. One of the obvious and first ways to make money is simply by having ads placed right on your website. Now, the cool thing is you can work with a company like Google AdSense, and when you sign up with Google AdSense, they will automatically place ads right on your website and you won't have to do any work. Now, in the very beginning, you will not make very significant money at all. You will make pennies on the dollar with Google AdSense. But once you start getting significant traffic, like 10,000 page views per month, you can work with other ad networks like Ezoic, AdThrive, Media.net, and they're going to pay you a significantly more amount of money. But that's just one way that you can make money. Another way that you can make money is simply with affiliate marketing. Now, with affiliate marketing, you are going to recommend other people's products and services. When your audience clicks on those affiliate links and makes a purchase, you can get paid a commission. There are tons of affiliate programs out there. But the key to affiliate marketing is you have to find products that are going to be congruent or in line with your audience. For example, if you are a poet and you are talking to other poets, you might recommend a certain type of notebook or a high quality pen, maybe a computer, something along those lines that's going to be relevant. Now, it will not help you. You will not make any money if you are creating content about poetry and then all of a sudden you start recommending toothpaste or toothbrushes. That's not going to help you. And to get started with affiliate marketing, basically what you're going to do is you're going to go out and look for different affiliate programs, sign up for those programs, get your affiliate links, and then you are going to put them in the blog post. But if you want to learn more about affiliate marketing, I do have a free course. It's the third link in the description. Click that link and you can sign up for a free affiliate marketing course. Another way that you can make money, and I think this website's actually doing that, is they're selling their own products. You can sell digital or physical products. You could sell a course, a training on how to become a better lyric poet. As long as it's relevant to your audience, you can make money. You can sell physical products. Maybe you have your own books, whatever it is, you can sell them. Now, there are different plugins that you can add right to your WordPress website, but that's outside the scope of this video. If we go back over to our slide deck here, now I recommend that you share all of your content on social media at the very beginning. The reason being is when you first start a website, nobody knows about your website. Google doesn't trust your website. Google takes a lot of time to compare your content versus the content that's already out on the internet. And so you're not going to get any traffic. And one way that you can start getting traffic is sharing your content over on various social media platforms. Now, it's important that you share your content on relevant social media platforms. For example, go out and find relevant subreddits that are interested in poetry, or Facebook groups, or Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram. It will not help you at all if you are sharing your poetry blog or website to people that are interested in NBA 2K21. So you want to make sure that you are finding relevant places, sharing them, and then moving on to continue to write. Speaking of writing, I get a common question all the time about how many blog posts should I write before I give up or start planning my next vacation. Now, in my opinion, you should write at least 50 blog posts before you determine the direction of your website. Now, the reason why I think 50 is a good number is because it lets Google know that you are serious about blogging. You have created 50 pieces of content around the lyric poetry keyword or keyword phrase. And so that's going to give you some domain authority, and that's going to help you rank your future articles. I recommend that you write every day for 50 days or write every other day for 100 days. You are going to get better at blog writing because it is different than writing for poetry. But I think that you should write at least 50. Now, final thing I want you to do is I want you to check out the 3 links in the description. The first one is to your web hosting. The second one is to a premium WordPress theme. And the third one is for a free affiliate marketing course. Be sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell if this video or any other video on this channel helped you out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.